Hello everyone, and welcome into crushthestreet.com. I'm Kenneth Amaduri. We've got another update here. The crypto space is moving very fast. Bitcoin's jumping around. A lot of the altcoins have actually corrected quite a bit, but Ethereum continues to hit all-time high after all-time high. We're going to get into some of these topics today. We're going to talk to a brand new guest. He's on the line with me right now. Cryptocurrency enthusiast, educator. His name's Dr. Crypto. He's got a great YouTube channel. He's very charismatic, and he's just bridging the gap for people to get into the crypto space, and he's doing a great job with that. Dr. Crypto, thanks for coming on Crush the Street with me today.
Yeah, no problem, Kenneth. I'm really glad to be here, be able to talk about some things today involving crypto.
Well, hey, if you wouldn't mind, give us a little intro to yourself, and how did you get involved with cryptocurrency? I find it very interesting to hear people's stories how they got involved.
Okay, well, I'm 22 years old. I guess you can consider me a millennial. Basically, how I got involved, you know, I heard I was amongst the majority of people who had probably seen the Bitcoin logo somewhere, you know, earlier in the years before it was more adapted than it is today. And what really got me involved is I was already doing YouTube. So it was like more so last year when I got deeper into crypto, but I had seen it before and took an interest to it. So I decided to do a few months of research. And what really actually caught my eye was a video that happened to pop up in my recommended section. And it was a bid on an 18-year-old crypto millionaire, basically. So once I watched the video, that's when I really dispersed myself into the subject itself and got very knowledgeable about crypto overall and decided, yeah, that's what I want to do. I love it.
Well, hey, congratulations on that, man. You know, you're very young and you're in the cutting edge in terms of technology. Lots of changing events happening, and it's really exciting. So congratulations on that. So let's get into this. So Coinbase was the on-ramp for millions of new people to get into the Bitcoin space. And I think we can agree that that was a contributing factor to why Bitcoin just skyrocketed. And now there are talks about Ripple, Monero, Dash, Neo being added over time. And I'm just curious, just like Bitcoin Cash seemed to really benefit strongly from the addition to Coinbase, you know, what are the implications of some of these other ones getting on the Coinbase? Do you think it's going to dilute Bitcoin? You know, because as it is, Bitcoin is what, only 33% of market dominance. Now, is this new competition per se going to continue to dilute Bitcoin?
Great question and great point. I do want to say, actually, I did make a video about Coinbase adding new coins maybe 3 weeks ago. I had projected that they were going to add Bitcoin Cash and, you know, what the effects might be as far as Bitcoin and how it would affect Bitcoin Cash. And obviously, we've seen an exponential increase, which obviously I expect to see the same thing with any coin that will be added to Coinbase because it is that newer audience of people to crypto who aren't really that knowledgeable about it. So naturally, if you see something added that's cheaper than Bitcoin, you know, a lot of people are going to say, well, hey, maybe I should just invest into this. Now, I think, yeah, it will have an adverse effect on Bitcoin itself. Obviously, I've already stated before, maybe you guys don't know it, but I've stated before that this year will be the year for altcoins. I believe it'll be the altcoin boom. So I do think it's going to have somewhat of a negative impact on Bitcoin simply because, you know, like I said, Bitcoin is currently sitting at 14.5K, and you do still have plenty of Bitcoin enthusiasts, but it's like, you know, Bitcoin had its time, and it's that coin that paved the way. And I'm not saying that it's bad or anything, but I'm just saying it's opening up a lot more opportunities. As you can see, like you just said yourself, we can still see Ethereum is fighting against the price of Bitcoin and everything else on the coin market cap right now, and other coins are still doing the same. There are plenty of gems, but yes, to answer your question, I do think that it can have an adverse effect on Bitcoin when these coins are added to Coinbase, and sure. I believe they'll increase exponentially.
Sure, from even just a marketing perspective, you know, Bitcoin losing market dominance is self-fulfilling for a lot of people and saying, hey, you know, Bitcoin is not the future. Whether that is going to be the case or not, I know a lot of people are questioning that, especially with the high fees and the trouble they're having to scale. It opens up the opportunity for people to look elsewhere, and even just the price that it is right now, 14,500. Many people feel like it's just cost prohibited, and so I totally understand that. I mean, the story's still yet to be told on Bitcoin, but Ethereum. Let's touch on that a little bit here, because it's been on fire as of lately, and even as the other cryptos are falling, Ethereum is holding strong. And so what are your thoughts on Ethereum? Ethereum does have its issues with scaling. We saw that with CryptoKitties, what happened on the platform. And you know, also you have a lot of other competitors chomping at Ethereum's heels here, like Neo, Cardano, and Lisk. So what are your thoughts on this?
So as far as Ethereum, originally I didn't like the coin simply because of a couple of things. It wasn't even meant to be an expensive coin. Not only that, well, obviously the total supply and the circulating supply and all those factors I took into account. But lately, yeah, I have to say that I've definitely been leaning more towards, you know, the whole Ethereum FOMO and all of that. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of contributing factors. Like you just said, CryptoKitties scaling and all of that. But, I mean, it's continuing to prove a lot of people wrong day to day. So, I mean, this is the crypto space. Anything can really happen. And when it comes to these coins, it's all just about belief. So there's really no coin that's better than the next. It's just simply the community that stands behind it, whether or not they really truly believe in it. And we're just being shown here that a lot more people are starting to believe in Ethereum, and that's why it's currently going up.
Sure. Well, let's get your thoughts on Litecoin. The news as of a couple weeks ago was Charlie Lee selling his entire position in Litecoin. And I guess the question is do you fault the guy for selling what was likely hundreds of millions of dollars worth of his position? I mean, getting positioned in at the very beginning and then having this life-changing gain. I mean, at some point, you got to give the guy some room to, you know, take his money and move on. But, you know, he said it was for altruistic motives. You know, I don't want to affect the price of Litecoin anymore. I'm going to donate this to charity. So he took the high ground in terms of what he told everybody. But what are your general thoughts on the Litecoin situation?
Well, first of all, I just want to say I am a strong believer of Litecoin 2018 doing well. But as far as the entire situation, I think his take at the perspective was very noble. I mean, I think in his position, he could have done whatever he wanted, but that's just to me, that's a sign of good faith that he does truly believe in the coin, and that he's letting his people know, you know, the community behind Litecoin, that he doesn't want people to think that he's going to affect the coin for his own personal gain. So, I mean, really, that's all there is to it. I believe that he made a great decision. He didn't have to be made. It was selfless, in my opinion. And that gave me more faith in the project.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's certainly selfless if the price continues to go to 1,000 and beyond, because he would have missed out on those gains. But, you know, usually when someone liquidates their entire position, a lot of times that means that they're not so optimistic about the future. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, it's kind of one of those things where I think a lot of people are rightfully scratching their head. But a lot of people are still extremely bullish on Litecoin, especially in light of Bitcoin's fees. So any more thoughts on that?
I mean, Litecoin has proven itself, period. I mean, even in this situation, I know we've had like our corrections and adjustment, and it's kind of been struggling at the support points, but it's not like it's taken a huge plummet. So I don't believe that it's just like nobody's believing in the coin anymore. It's just going to continue to go down from here. I do see it going up. Obviously, we even saw it fighting against Bitcoin at one point in time when Bitcoin was going down and Litecoin was still doing its own thing. So, in my opinion, I think that Litecoin still has a bright future, period.
All right. Well, you know what? I know a lot of people out there are saying the same thing. And, you know, Litecoin was close to my heart. It was actually the first cryptocurrency that I bought a few years ago, so I'm all for it. All right, let's move on. Ripple has moved up strongly It's not second anymore. It was second for a short while. It's pulled back along with some of the other ones that we've seen over the last couple days or so. But what are your thoughts on Ripple? It's, for the longest time, it was like 20 cents. You just see it sitting there at 20 cents. And I think a lot of people disregarded it. And then, bam, it shoots up like it does a 10, 15x return, whatever it was. And just really surprised everyone. What are your thoughts on Ripple? And is this something that you support? I know a lot of people don't support it because they say it's a banker coin, and there's a lot of the insiders holding billions of coins in the sidelines, very centralized. But what are your thoughts?
I will say that I was one of those people who was just speculating on Ripple. I didn't jump in right away. I kind of FOMO'd when it did start to go up drastically. But I did catch it at around maybe 90 cents or so. As far as the coin itself, I think it has a great purpose. The efficiency in the banking system, I think the purpose of a coin is important, okay? Because that determines what the value means to you as far as the coin. So, its efficiency in the banking system, not only that, but obviously there are going to be multiple big banks, and there already are, who are going to continue to invest in this coin. Not to mention, as we spoke about earlier, it's probably going to be one of the coins that's added to Coinbase, which is going to add that FOMO factor. So we've seen it go up a drastic amount, and of course we've seen a correction. It's down to like 198 today, but I do expect to continue to see it grow throughout the whole year of 2018. I believe the coin will continue to do well, and I am a supporter. I'm currently holding a nice amount of Ripple myself, so yeah, I believe in the coin.
Sure. Well, hey, props to you for making some money. It's just crazy right now what we're seeing. I know so many people that are just making a killing in the cryptocurrency space, and it's just hey, props to everyone out there that's doing that, because I think ultimately we know that this is going to slow down and there's going to be a big correction and things are going to stabilize. But in this environment, this is just very exciting. And I guess what we need to know is kind of if we are going to see that big correction, when to be out. And that's the ultimate timing, hindsight, feeling, and just overall knowledge that we all want to know. But we'll see how that plays out. Okay, so moving on here, one of the platforms you've talked about is Bitconnect, and this is something that has a lot of stigma around it, and many have called it a scam. And I've never invested in Bitconnect. From what I can tell, it looks like a scam, but it continues to surge, and a lot of people are making a lot of money on it. Some of the most recent news was Texas even sent a cease and desist letter to Bitconnect. And I just get your thoughts on what are your thoughts on Bitconnect? Is there an opportunity there for people, despite the fact that it might be a scam?
Just want to say I do love the platform. Obviously, I'm an adamant user of Bitconnect. Do I honestly believe it's a scam? No. And I always refer to this with an example using a grocery store. As long as something is very profitable, it will always be around. The cryptocurrency space itself is very profitable, and obviously Bitconnect thrives off that. It's of course they plan to add more coins here to the website in order to use their platform. So that'll be a big plus in 2018, in my opinion. Not only that, with the Bitconnect X ICO that just launched, we're going to see an exchange such as we've seen with Binance here, an exchange with its own coin. And obviously, I think that'll be great. I believe that they're really making power moves throughout 2018. They've continued to prove people wrong. A lot of people thought it was a scam over a year ago. Obviously, the project has been around for almost 2 years now. It's continuing to thrive, continuing to do great. It has over 1.5 million users. So, the community is strong. And like any other coin, like I was saying earlier, as long as that community is there, the coin will always thrive. The Bitconnect coin itself has already proven its value. So that's not something anyone can argue against. The coin sits at around $390, $400. We've seen it at those highs. We've seen what it can do. And personally, I have faith in it. It's worked well. You've never seen one person come out flat out and say, I've been scammed by Bitconnect. And for me, that just means it's not a scam. The risk is only there if it really does go up in flames before your eyes. And for me personally, I've already made my money back that I invested into the platform, so I can personally say for me there is no risk, so there is no scam for me. But obviously it's on the individual.
Good points there, and I'm not going to argue with that whatsoever. I've never invested in it. I have heard stories about people having issues taking their money out of the platform, taking their Bitcoin, and when they try to do that, the site crashes. Is there any legitimacy to this, or any concern on your end? So you've made your money back and you've pulled it out with no problem.
Yes, I've already showed plenty of withdrawal videos from Bitconnect and pretty much any platform I use. I'll pull my money out with no problem personally. So I've never seen a video where someone has actually had trouble pulling out the money.
Okay. Yeah, no, I've heard that from people. Yeah, I mean, and maybe you can explain a little bit more how they operate. You know, what is it that they do that they're able to pay out these 1% per day returns?
Right. So basically, their statement is that they operate based on a volatility bot, not a volatility bot, but they have a bot that goes hand in hand with the volatility of Bitcoin. So it goes out, basically takes what we invest into the platform, comes back with a profit, and pays it out to about. They keep 20% from my understanding for themselves, and they pay out 80% of their profits daily to out their user base. The percentage that they get is actually not a guaranteed 1%, but it can actually be give or take. And we don't always get 1%. On average, we've seen days below 1%, but we've seen great days as well, obviously. But the point is the software that they use, that they claim to use anyway, because we've never actually seen it. So I'm very transparent, and obviously I'm neutral in this situation. So I can say that I haven't seen any proof that the software exists, but the software that they claim to have basically generates these interests based on the volatility of Bitcoin, put simply.
Sure. Well, hey, that's exciting stuff, and I mean, it's all part of the new frontier that we're seeing in this crypto space. And speaking of this new frontier, the new tax laws that we're seeing and the developments is just getting, drastically changing. And I'm just curious as to your thoughts as to why the government decided to require people to report gains at any time they move from crypto to crypto, and to realize those gains, rather than it be a like-kind investment and you claim your taxes when you go back to fiat, because it just seems like such a hassle for people, especially, just even if you're like a Steemit user, you just want to go into Bitcoin. I mean, you got to keep track of those gains. I mean, and then not even to mention the traders going back and forth through the coins. What a nightmare. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah. Personally, I've always had my own opinion about why the government is cracking down on crypto with all these laws and all of that. It's all about control. I mean, obviously crypto, the point of it is to be decentralized, and the government hasn't been able to get a hold on that, doing anything about peer-to-peer technology, period. They haven't really been able to touch it. But they're starting to try to crack down simply because there are probably a lot of new millionaires popping up, because crypto is making a lot of people rich. And they want to keep track of it, in my opinion. So they don't want people just becoming millionaires who are going from, average people below rich and basically becoming millionaires and not having that documented, or basically going unchecked. In a sense, they want to have some control there. So
sure.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. Well, and you think this is going to be a reason for more privacy coins to take off as people, getting out of the hands of the government?
Most definitely. I've said this in a video before. Privacy coins in 2018 will be a thing, especially with all these tax laws. A lot of privacy coins are going to increase exponentially.
Which privacy coins, if you don't mind mentioning a few, are you most optimistic on?
I would say Verge is a big one. It's had a lot of hype around it. I believe Ripple is privately owned as well. And Really, for me personally, I'm holding Verge. I'm holding a lot of Verge as far as privacy coin. Of course, there are many other ones, but I haven't looked deep into them yet.
Sure. Okay, so I want to ask you about this Davour coin. It's one of these lending tokens, and it has to do with arbitrage and, you know, trading. I don't know if it's high frequency trading or what, but being able to arbitrage these exchanges. And we know that in the traditional markets, you know, computers are high frequency trading and gaming the system with half a cent and making millions of dollars. But in the crypto space, there is, you know, huge amounts of arbitrage, you know, much more than just half a cent here and there. And so, you know, what is the thesis and the story behind Davour? And I just think it's real interesting, especially with what we know in the traditional markets.
Right. So, I mean, of course, like you said, Davour is yet another lending platform. Right now, I believe it to be one of the top performing platforms. It's somewhat like Bitconnect. Obviously, the way it's laid out pretty much is similar to Bitconnect, except the way that they trade, from my understanding, is a little bit different from Bitconnect because, of course, we know that Bitconnect bot supposedly trades on the volatility. But like you said, it's more involved with arbitrage and trading between multiple platforms. You know, it's a fairly new ICO. It's been one of the most successful ICOs that I've seen personally, as far as a lending platform, because we did see a 100x basically with the Davour coin ICO. It's fairly new. It's been around. The project has been around since, I want to say, early 2017. However, the ICO has been around only for a couple of months now. And really, they're absolutely killing the game. Very transparent. We know who the owners are. You know, everything they've said they would do, they've done it. They've been following through with pretty much every single thing. And honestly, I believe that this will be one of the top lending platforms in 2018. Possibility here that it could surpass Bitconnect as far as user base in the future if everything continues to go as well as it has been.
Sure. Do you have an understanding of how they're doing this arbitrage and, you know, how lucrative it is for these companies that want to do that?
Yeah, I don't have a deeper understanding of how their system works as far as the arbitrage, but from what I gather, it's somewhat similar to Bitconnect, but better.
All right, sir. Well, hey, if people want to learn about how to get into Bitcoin and crypto, by conclusion here, how do you suggest people get started?
Well, I want to say before I go into that, self-education, very important thing. You've already taken the first step by being here on this channel, but if you want to dig deeper, YouTube is available to everybody. Literally I believe one of the most powerful tools out there right now, Google and YouTube. There's not a video you can't find that's going to teach you something about crypto. Like I said before, I wasn't a crypto expert when I jumped into this. Obviously, none of us really were. We had to learn, and I use YouTube as a great resource to learn pretty much everything I want to know. Other than that, I took a basic understanding of knowledge that I already had, and combine that with YouTube videos, so on and so forth. I was always good at doing research, so whenever I look into a coin, I wanted to look into the purpose of the coin, what the coin was about, what were they doing, like period, how the coin is efficient, and I mean, go beyond. You know, a lot of people stop at just Bitcoin, the hype. Go beyond that, find out more about cryptocurrency, the blockchain technology, because you have to understand that the blockchain technology it works better, in my opinion, than how we currently operate with fiat. So I will learn a lot about blockchain and dig deeper. Just dig deeper. That's all I can really say.
Sure. Well, Dr. Crypto, everyone. Well, hey, man, I appreciate your time coming on Crush the Street and sharing your knowledge with us and, you know, just hanging out with me. If people want to learn more about what you do and your channel, and you know the content that you put out on a regular basis, tell them where they'll go and what they'll find.
So if you do want to look into my channel, my name is Dr. Crypto. It's going to be on YouTube, of course. Basically, you'll find a general understanding of how lending platforms work. I usually talk every day about coins on the coin market cap, what coins I'm looking into, what coins I'm interested in, and why I think they have potential. So you'll find basically all the crypto talk that you're probably already looking for anyway. But yeah, all about crypto.
All right, sir. Well, hey, thanks for coming on Crush the Street.
Yep, no problem.